Hello, everyone. Philip Lee returning with a new episode of Civil War Chat. Today is November 14th. It's a Monday, 2022. Click on the subscribe button here in the lower right to subscribe to future episodes, and also the notification bell in the far upper right to be notified when they're released. And if you click on that, you can be assured that your Thanksgiving holiday is going to be great. All the guests that come, all the relatives that'll be there at the dinner table will be there, happy to see each other. There won't be any political arguments, and you're going to have a great Thanksgiving. Just click on that button. Okay, all of you are aware, those of us that want to protect Confederate memory or Southern heritage, that we're in a cultural war. There's a war in place to remove all Confederate monuments and even street names. And at some point in the future, your children, your grandchildren are going to ask you, daddy, mommy, granddad, grandma, what did you all do during the Cultural War to help protect Southern heritage? Well, one thing you can do is to buy some of my books. Let me recommend this one, The Confederacy Had Fled Tide by Philip Lee. It tells the story from June of 62 to December of 62, when the Confederacy came closest to winning its independence. You can buy this book at Amazon and Barnes & Noble for $26 and other bookstores. If you want to get an autographed copy directly from me, then email me, Phil, P-H-I-L _Lee, L-E-I-G-H, at me.com. Okay, so let me begin with the story today. This is an alumnus of the Virginia Military Institute has sent an open letter to the school explaining that he is going to take back a $1 million bequeath that he had planned to give to the school. This was originally appeared last week at the Bacon's Rebellion blog, and he edited it slightly, and I've also edited it slightly more, just mainly for brevity. But anyway, we'll go ahead. I'll start reading now the letter as from the alumnus that was sent as an open letter to VMI. I'm a member of the VMI class 1975. In the nearly 50 years since my graduation, I have taken great pride in being one of the over 20,000 who can claim that honor. Therefore, I take no pleasure in writing this letter to make known my growing concerns about the future of VMI and my conviction that the path VMI is taking will destroy the Institute. I am confident that many other alumni share this view. My convictions have become so strong since Major General Cedric Wins and his administration took charge that I recently and reluctantly took the step of amending my will to excise a bequest of $1 million for the benefit of VMI through the alumni agencies. Now, in the brief span of just 2 years since the abrupt dismissal of Superintendent General Binford Peay, the Institute has traveled far down the path of political correctness, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the tenets of critical race theory. And they all sunk their toxic roots deep into the fabric of VMI, of the VMI life. The Board of Visitors' recent approval of a $100,000 bonus for Superintendent Wins, despite a 25% drop in enrollment, and his direct defiance of the Governor and the General Assembly of Virginia's instructions discouraging the use of the budgeted monies to fund VMI's diversity, equity, and inclusion program, are unacceptable insults. Recently, I was appalled also to see a social media posting, apparently from the superintendent's personal account, describing another VMI alumnus and his own brother Rat as, quote, looking desperate and racist, close quote. I blame Superintendent Wins and some administration members for the above insults, as well as the Board of Visitors' public statements and the VMI Alumni Association for supporting them. I also accuse them of vilifying alumni who have contrary views and dismissing those with dissenting views as being disgruntled or simply misinformed, persons whose criticisms are without foundation. Other unwise actions include taking authority from the Corps, from running barracks and splitting the VMI family. The complex challenges VMI presently faces require serious, skilled leaders who love the Institute, but we do not have them. Fortunately, none of the ill-conceived changes are carved in stone. They can and must be reversed. For that, I look to Governor Youngkin, and hopefully he'll be sparked by a coordinated action from my own fellow alumni. Fortunately, we are beginning to see genuine pushback against speech censorship and possible misuse of curriculum funding, and perhaps even defiance of the governor's directive to refrain from teaching divisive concepts. Pushback against all of those. The resistance reflects a growing number of concerned alumni and cadets rather than an isolated, quote, small group, close quote, as Superintendent Wins suggests. Protect, honor the spirit of VMI, and many concerned alumni are encouraging resistance to these divisive policies. The cadet newspaper is trying to give the Corps back its independent voice. We must all unite to truly return control of the Corps system, class system, rat line, and especially the honor code and honor system to the Corps under the traditional leadership of the first class. The Corps, as it has in the past, must govern itself and be among the agents of whatever change may be necessary to restore and even improve the VMI experience. We are not a group of unhappy alumni who want to stoke the worst fears and sow seeds of discord among the about the training and education of students, as General Wins alleged in his October 18th, 2022 letter to the alumni. We grow in numbers daily. We are dedicated to preserving that which is good in VMI while evolving what is needed to make it better for every cadet, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, belief, or background. But this must be done through transparency and openness to all ideas, including those the Board of Visitors and the Alumni Association leaderships have been repressing. It is time for action. For my part, I start by rescinding the $1 million bequest, which I am working to recommit to the Cadet Foundation or another charity separate from the VMI administration and the Alumni Association. I want instead to know the money will be used by the alumni and the cadets working together in the true spirit of VMI and not in supporting policies that divide alumni and cadets and discredit VMI in the public arena. I urge more alumni donors to act congruently. Many thanks to the cadet, which is in the newspaper, and the supporters for standing up for freedom of speech, fundamental values at the Institute, and working to address the serious questions and issues facing VMI. The administration must accept unconditionally that the First Amendment is non-negotiable. It must immediately stop all actions to control and restrict the cadet, the newspaper, and the newspaper's staff and its foundation. It must stop distorting the facts surrounding the restart of the cadet as an independent core voice by cadets and supporting alumni. It must immediately restore the cadets' historic privileges as they have requested. Next, unconditionally return control of barracks, the rat line, honor code, and honor system to the Corps. VMI has great young men and women who deserve our help and advice. Ultimately, it is they who must run the Corps. Finally, the administration, the Board of Visitors, and the Alumni Association must stop vilifying alumni while deliberately censoring and dismissing or otherwise repressing contrary views, and the personal attacks against those who do not share, quote, management's views, close quote. Your actions, speaking to the VMI administration, your actions against free speech, reducing authority of the Corps to run itself, and your divisive approaches cost VMI my $1 million. And if others follow my example, hopefully it will cost you much more. Signed, Douglas R. Conti, MD. Okay, that is really our show for today. It's really sad that this is what had to happen, but apparently that's just the way it goes. So thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time.